Yeah.
All right. Good evening, Giants, and I'm happy to be with you.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sorry, Bafo, most of them are on mute. So if you're not getting a response, it's just because they are on mute.
Okay.
Yeah. But before you start, Jan, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, what you're doing, and just a short one, 1 minute before you start the presentation, please.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I'm set. All right, Giants. My name is full name Joseph Bafo Eduamoa. Just call me Joe Bafo. I'm a lawyer now. I was an engineer, and I'm still an engineer. So as I do my presentation, maybe I'll be more an engineer than a lawyer because I know I'm talking to engineers and scientists. And then I've been practicing the law for some time. Basically, because of my background, my main focus has been on natural resources law, of which land law or property law, as we call it in Ghana, is concerned. Currently, I'm a faculty member at the. I decided to go to academia because the pure legal practicing in Ghana is quite a bit rough. Um, so I decided this is maybe the place to go. So that's it. I am I am now into academia, and I'm very happy to share some knowledge with my guys.
Yeah.
I said guys because I know there's no lady among us.
Yeah,
But
not yet.
don't you worry. At the tail end of the presentation, too, I will be one controversial topic in land law now in Ghana is what we call spousal rights.
Okay.
And I will touch on it before I end my presentation. All right.
Thank you.
So, in a nutshell, that is me. I am here. Forget about my mining background. We'll be doing law for the next 1 hour or so.
Oh, it will not be 1 hour.
No, 1 hour for presentation and then whatever hours for questions.
A little bit shorter than 1 hour, please.
All right, I will do my best. I will do my best.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Okay. Thank you all. Let me see. All right, so we can start. Now, there is a big problem in this country about land issues. And when Ray gave me the opportunity to speak, I was to choose between land acquisition and then wills. And I said, "Look, before you get to wills, you start from land, because many people write their wills after they have landed properties, what we call landed properties. In law, we call it immovable property. I will talk about property, but today's topic relates strictly to immovable property. That is properties that are attached to the land, such that you cannot carry it from one place to another. Before anybody writes a will, first you have to acquire property, because if you don't have property, what do you write a will for? So let's look at it. Maybe another time when there is time, we shall talk about making of will.
Yeah.
So land. You see, in Ghanaian law, under our law, when you use the word land, It is not just about the physical soil or surface that you see that we call land. Land includes the surface itself and anything that is you can find on that piece that you are calling land, whether it is beneath that surface, on top of that surface, running around along with that surface. That is why when we say land, it includes the rivers, the streams, the lakes that go along with it, the buildings, the trees, the whatever attached to the land, they are all part of land. And for that matter, as I'm speaking, whenever I talk about land, it is not just about bare land. Land includes things that are permanently attached to the land. And for that matter, when I chose even the topic, land and property acquisition, if honestly speaking, in law, it is a tautology. Whatever you call it, as we go along, you understand from me that when you buy what in Ghana we call a property, that's if you buy a house from somebody, the documents that is handed over to you is not documents for the building. It is documents of the land that is usually handed over to you. That whatever you is on the land is immaterial, but the document that is actually handed over to you is the land documents. So if you buy a property from somebody and he gives you his building plan without giving you the land document, the title to the land, you have not bought anything technically. Technically, when we talk about property, it is about the land itself, not what is standing on it. Because the definition of land includes whatever is attached to the land. This is where a lot of people make mistake. People have gone to buy houses, they hand them over the building plan and permit showing the who designed it, permit from the district assembly, blah, 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 and they hand it over to them. But they don't give them the land title. Otherwise, one day you'll be there, the real owner of the land will appear and would ask you to bring down your bill, the house. Because people build on people's land, and when they realize that trouble is coming, they sell the property. We will get there. I hope I'm clear. Any interruption? If I'm not clear, you can draw my attention.
Yeah, we are clear. Yeah, really clear. Yeah.
You can hear me well. All right.
I can hear you. Yes, it was
because,
a bit
because I'm not in Accra. I'm in my village. I'm talking to you, and I'm surprised everything is going very well. The network seems to be very good today. That's why I asked the question. All right. Yeah. So we can continue now. Having said about what, so in a nutshell, land does not denote only the physical ground. It includes everything attached. So if you are going to buy a land, anything attached to the land should be of interest to you. Next. Then the question comes, what is property? Under Ghanaian law, properties are divided into actually 4 classifications. We have land, and when we say land, it is the land itself and anything attached to it, or anything of beneficial that goes with the land. So you can buy a land and that land becomes a tourist center. It is still your land. Anything that goes with the land is part of the land for you to enjoy. The only exception is minerals found in their natural state. Maybe let me just say this before I go on. When you buy land, or when, in fact, I'm using the word buy in commerce, I will explain. Technically, we don't buy land in Ghana. Technically, we don't buy land in Ghana, but I'm talking to non-lawyers, so I will use the word buy. But the buy I'm using here is
I think you've gone off. Are you there?
Yeah, it's frozen.
It's frozen.
Ray,
It's frozen.
whilst he's off, can I just make a comment? I tried to put a comment within the chat box, and it's disabled. I'm not too sure whether
Yeah,
that's coming
disabled.
from-
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the
that
chat
coming
board is
from-
disabled. Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Well, I sent you a WhatsApp message just in case you were looking at it, but obviously you are not.
Chance. It's hold on. Let's see. How did it disable? Hold on.
hello. I think I was cut off temporarily.
Hello. We can hear you.
Yes, you cut off a bit. Can someone try and...
Ray, fix that thing now. Come on.
Yeah, it's come back now.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks a lot. Cheers, bye.
Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for the patience. The land that you purchase, the only exception is if minerals in their natural state are found on that land, that mineral does not belong to you, the land belongs to you, but the mineral, any mineral found in its natural state in Ghana belongs to the state. And for that matter, and when we use the word acquire a land, this whole business of buy or purchase of land does not apply in Ghana. Assuming you acquire a land, you are trying to develop that land, you start digging and you found some mineral of value on it or beneath it. The law is that you have to stop, report to the Minerals Commission, like you are reporting to the President of the Republic of Ghana through the Minerals Commission that this is what has happened. And then they will come, evaluate it. If it is mineral of commercial quantity, you will be compensated and the land taken away from you. If it's not of commercial interest, they will just ask you to go ahead with your work. That's all. Okay. So that is the only exception. Otherwise, anything else of value on the land is part of the land and it belongs to you. So in Ghana, the property, when we say property, it includes land, it includes buildings or things that are fixed to land. It includes movables. Any property you acquire that you can move from place to place. It even, and then it also includes intangible property. Assuming you have a formula for turning some herbs into medicine. It is a property. These days people are documenting such property. All those things are property. But what I am going to be talking to you today, in Ghana, we call it immovable property. Immovable property. So this presentation will deal strictly with immovable property. And when we say immovable property, it is any property that is fixed to at one point that cannot be moved. And it is about just land. Anything fixed on the land is part of the land. So if you erect a building on the land, the building, we are defining the land. We define the land to include whatever is fixed to the land. That's it. Now, who owns land in Ghana? That's the first principle that we need to understand. The first principle is that every parcel of land in Ghana has an owner. There is nothing like ownerless land in Ghana. So you cannot be walking, find an occupied land anywhere in the most remotest part of this country or in a deep forest, and then you say, oh, I found an ownerless land and I'm occupying it. The first principle is that every inch or parcel of land in Ghana has an owner. The second principle is that the concept of individual ownership of land is alien to Ghanaian law. No one single person owns a land in Ghana. Ownership of land is vested mainly in about 3 broad areas. So we have public lands. Number one, we have public lands. And when we say public lands, we are talking about lands owned by the states, the republic. Then we have stool lands. Stool lands are lands owned by stools and skins. And I hope when I say stool, you understand me. Paramount. That's what we call paramount lands. And then 3, we have what we call family lands. There are certain parts of Ghana where we don't have stool lands, including my own hometown. There is nothing like stool lands there. It is family that owns the land. Families, different families. So we have so anytime we talk about who owns a land in Ghana, either it is a public land that's owned by the states, either it belongs to a stool, which we call stool land, or it belongs to a family, what we call family lands. Under this broad, there are several other types of ownership. But let me say that what an individual person like you and me, they can have as far as land is concerned is that we have some rights or we have some interest vested in us in different ways. But that does not make us the owner of those lands. This is a concept that has moved on in every African community, including Ghana, such that so many years ago, whoever has read about Nanase Oforiatta I, the paramount chief of Achim Ebuakwa, a very prominent and learned man during the colonial era, he made this statement in public, talking to, and it was when the colonial masters were trying to compulsorily acquire all the lands in Ghana and invest it in the Queen. That was, this is what happened in South Africa. That's what South Africa, they have all sort of problems. It's happening in Zimbabwe also. And that is why Mugabe had all the problems with UK. But in Ghana, the chiefs resisted it because, like Nanase Oforiatta said, land belongs to a vast family of whom many are here with us, many more are dead, countless host of generations yet unborn. So any parcel of land that you see, it belongs to people who are even dead and gone. It belongs to people who are alive today, and it belongs to generations yet unborn. And so, for instance, when you say Oyoko family land of Akwemu, Oyoko family land of Akwemu does not belong to any single person. It belongs to the Oyoko family as an entity or as a corporate body. Those of at any one point in time, the head of family is the one who is in charge of it, but he doesn't own it. So the notion of individual ownership of land is foreign to native ideas. Land either belongs to the community, and when I say it belongs to the community, then it means it is a stool land. And when we say stool land, it means the total area of authority of the stool. Let me say a Asantehene. That's a very good example. The whole of Ashanti region is a stool land. Anytime you acquire any land anywhere in Ashanti region, Brong-Ahafo region, almost a bigger chunk of area too in the eastern region, they are stool lands. And stool lands belongs to the entire community, the area of authority of the stool in question. So if it is about Ashanti lands, it is vested in the golden stool, of which Otunfo is the owner. And whoever occupies that stool at any point in time is the only person who has authority to administer the land. Individuals only have interest in land. And for that matter, this whole issue of I have bought a land, it does not exist in Ghana. There's no outright purchase of land in Ghana. They grant you land. Almost all of you who have a parcel of land in this country, you agree with me that when the documents is handed over to you, it is stated on it for how long is this being given to you and for what purpose. So if you go to buy your car that you are going to drive, nobody tells you that you own this car for 50 years or 40 years and you have to return it to us. You purchase it outright. But when it comes to land, there's nothing like outright purchase. All of you who have purchased or bought land in that sense,
Yes, it sounds like the village connection is not working very well.
Mm.
Yeah, but
the
patience,
document
please.
given to you
Oh,
in
yeah.
Ghana, and that's
Lawyer Joe,
Yes.
you cut off a little bit, so can you rewind like half a minute?
okay.
Yeah.
All right. What I am saying is that, or what I was saying is that, in this country, anytime you sort of purchase a land, the document which is given to you, which in our local palace they call it indenture. That indenture given to you, you will find on it that the purpose for which you are acquiring the land is stated, and the number of years given you. It used to be the normal thing here in Ghana. Anytime you acquire any such interest in land, they give you 99 years. You will see that they will say for 99 years. These days, they hardly even give the 99 years. You won't get 99 years. So if you bought something, why do they give you the number of years you can have it? What it means is that you have only been granted an interest in that land, and that interest that you have been granted has a limit. It expires after some number of years. I have purchased, in fact, I purchased some land around Pram area. I didn't even look at this. I only realized later on that I was given 65 years, and this is about 20 years ago. So it means now I am left with 45 years of ownership or interest in that land. Please, my first warning to all my members here, anytime you are going to acquire any interest in any land, find out for how many years you are being given. The problem is that these days people have paid, like I'm telling you, I was given 65 years. It's 20 years ago. Assuming I want to sell that property to you now, what I am giving you, interest you are acquiring is meant for only 45 years. You must watch out. Otherwise, somebody has just some 10 or 5 years left on his this thing, and you just transfer it to you, assign it to you, or so in Ghana will say sell it to you. You may not know. 5 years, 10 years down the line, the real owners, those who granted it, will come back to you to renegotiate, to rebuy it. You will rebuy it. Even that one is not in perpetuity. I hope this part is clear. Don't make the mistake of just buying any land at all, especially where somebody has acquired land already and you're selling. That's I'm using selling in our local, understanding. Be careful. You have to be very, very careful. Find out what interest that person has in the land, what the land was granted to the person for, and how many years basically left on that interest before you part with your money. This is where you need the practitioners. Otherwise, you get it wrong. Don't get it wrong. Otherwise, you come home to weep. It happened to me before I became a lawyer. Otherwise, you come home to weep. And the most dangerous one is those estate houses they are selling. The estate houses they are selling, you have to be careful when you are going to buy. Somebody has purchased estate house for maybe 20 years, and then he is selling it. And then you rush to go and buy it. You need to do, and you need a practitioner to do that for you. Otherwise, you come home to it. Let's go.
Lawyer Bafo.
So,
Yeah.
On this point, this is very crucial. I would like you to play a scenario. So I'm buying I'm being sold a land with a building for, let's say, $200,000, and it is left with 10 years on the lease. Just play how such a negotiation will go. Will the owners of the land or the family or the stew come and say, well, this property is worth $200,000. Maybe the land at the current rate is probably, let's say, $50,000. Because they know you have $200,000 worth of building, they will, if you can play that.
Kwamina, I know your question, because this is what we, Kwamina, it's okay. I understand you. This is what we deal with every day. If you were at home, I would have asked you whether you have heard recently that in Kumasi, for instance, they are repossessing most of the properties in Edum Central because the leases that were given to them has expired. Those who actually went for those leases are all dead, they're gone. Those who are occupying it today, most of them do not even know. But the school has records of their transactions. And these days, some of them are repossessing them. They will ask you to come and renegotiate a new term, otherwise they repossess it. In law, we say it will revert to the original owners. The original owners has given you interest in land, but they are still the owners, and their interest in land, they call it the reversion, the reversionary interest. The land after the stated years that was given to you, it is supposed to revert to the owners. But the law in Ghana is that any such transaction involving land should have a clause of renewal. So they will call on you to renew. So Kwamina, if you bought and it is left with 10 years, I am telling you that 10 years down the line, the owners will come to you first and foremost to renew. It is like they are now going to sell the whole parcel to you again. And when I say parcel, it includes the structure on it. So if you bought or acquired that piece of land with a skyscraper on it, the value of the land is different from a bare land. And when they come to renegotiate with you for now, you must understand that you are not going to pay like you are buying a bare land. That's what I can say for now. As we go along, maybe some of the things that is beating your mind will come up, and then you understand it.
Thank you very much.
So basically, those who own land, thank you too. Those who own land, like I stated earlier on, is the schools and the families, and then the states, not individuals. So if one individual like me tell you that, Kwamina, I have land I want to sell to you, you have to ask me a lot of questions. It means I have acquired a land, or I have been granted access to some land, and I want to sublet some to you. That is what it means. Let me go on before I miss my point.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to acquire state land, alienation of land, when we talk about alienation of land, we are talking about who can part with land, who can grant you land, or who can sell land. Alienation, that is what it means in law. If it is public land, it is the land commission. If it is stool land, it is the occupant of the stool at the time. Hear this very well. With the consent and concurrence of principal councillors of the stool. Look, even the occupant of the stool alone cannot sign a document for you and say, I have given you or I've granted you land. It has to be done with the consent and concurrence of the principal councillors of that stool. Where it is family land, the alienation is made by head of family with the consent and concurrence with the principal elders of the family. With the principal elders of the family. Just a minute. Just a minute.
This land thing is a big discussion.
You know, be small.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I mean, it's relevant topic.
Crazy. Too much wahala.
Oh, it's very interesting.
Very.
Giants, let me say that the time we have for this meeting is not enough for this pro.
Yeah. Can you extend it, Mr. Host? Can you extend the time?
I have how many members online?
The Americans will not be happy.
And look,
we can do a
people are all receiving free No, wait, we haven't gotten to the question time yet. Wait.
No, we haven't.
So please, let me just finish first.
Yeah.
Now, where you acquire a land from a stool, a family, or from the state, please, what are they either giving you a lease? You are not buying.
Yeah. From to guess it, yeah.
You are not buying. It's either they are giving you a lease, or it is a sub-lease.
Lease, yeah.
Or it is an assignment, or it is a license.
Wow, okay.
Let me quickly explain these four things to you. A lease usually is that you are getting it from the paramount owners. If you go to acquire land from, if it's a stool land, from the stool, it's a family land. If the family grants you the land, you are getting a lease. If it is public land, here it is not necessarily, it may not necessarily be a lease. It may be a sub-lease or an assignment, or even a license. A sub-lease means a lease has been given to somebody. Like I gave you an example that I acquired a land, they gave me 65 years. And assuming I want to pass some of that land to you, it becomes a sub-lease. So the head lease is there, and then you are getting a sub-lease. Then we call another one assignment. Assignment here is that I am assigning all my interest in that land to you. So if, for instance, this one usually happens where people have put up a structure on the land, like these people who are selling estates, these real estate developers and those who have built and they are selling. That one, what you get is an assignment. Assignment means that the person has some interest in that land. He has transformed the land and he's reassigning all his interest in that land to you. We call it assignment. And for that matter, when somebody is assigning land to you, that's why I say you have to find out what interest the person had in the land and how many years he has left as far as that interest is concerned. That is what we call assignment. Assignment, yes, I can give you part of my bare land either as a sub-lease. Sub-lease means that if I have 45 years, I can give you 40 years, so that after 40 years, it comes back to me. That's what we call sub-lease. But what we call assignment means I'm giving you everything. If I have 50 years or I have 60 years on it, I'm giving you everything. I am assigning it to you. Around one, we call it assignment. This is the difference. So please, when the people, that thing you people call indenture, that's the people you go to buy or you go to acquire land and they give it to you and you are so happy. That thing that has been given to you, make sure you get a lawyer to read it for you.
Wow.
Otherwise, you get a raw deal. Now, if you acquire any land, you have to register it. Otherwise, it is still not effective. Your interest in the land is not even effective. Registration. Now, the law is that every transaction affecting land must be evidenced in writing. Land is not like tomatoes that you walk to the market and buy, you pay and you take it and go home. Land is something that is permanent and fixed at one point. And for that matter, any transaction involving land must be evidenced in writing, period. If somebody gives you land and he doesn't give you any document indicating that transfer to you, you have acquired nothing. You have parted with your money. In fact, you have donated your money. The law is that the documents that would also be given to you in law, we call it an instrument. If they give you that instrument and you don't know and you just take it, you are just happy you acquire land, they are giving me the land and say, oh, okay, all right? Look, it is just like you want to buy a laptop and they have issued you for a receipt. That document in law we call an instrument. You don't just go and keep it under your pillow or you go and put it in your portmanteau. You have to go to the land commission and register it. There are two kinds of registration you will do. First, you must register the instrument. That's the document that has been given to you. You must register it. They will stamp it and you pay some fee. After you finish, the next level is that you are supposed to register your interest in that land. First, you only register the instrument. The reason you are registering the instrument is that assuming somebody comes to argue with you, claiming the same parcel of land, what you can do, all that you have as evidence of alienation to you is that instrument. But that instrument is ineffective if it is not registered. So if you purchase or you acquire the land 10 years ago, you did not register your instrument. The same parcel of land was then granted to another person 5 years later, and that person goes to register it. That person has a better title than you. You have no title. So you need to register the instrument first. After registering the instrument, then you have to go ahead and register your interest in the land. And that is what we call title. Please, registering the instrument does not give you title. Some people just go to register the instrument and they end it there. Registering that instrument is when they give you that yellow card at the lands registry. That yellow card that is not title. It is evidence that you have registered your instrument. That's all. Now, land title registration is done under the land title registration law, PNDC law 152. And land title registration is the one that gives you title to the land. So when somebody actually say, I own this land, then you must have title. And I'll tell you, it can take you 10 years to get the actual title to the land. I am not frightening you. I, as a lawyer, I'm telling you, I've purchased a land for more than 15 years. I don't have the final land title yet because it goes through a whole lot of process and you are likely these days, especially in the cities. If it is in a local rural communities, you don't not usually get problems. But if it is in Accra, especially Accra or Kumasi
Or Tema.
or Takra, oh, as for Temakra, there is worse. See, let me warn you. Let me warn you. All lands in Tema is state land. Every inch of land in Tema is vested in the states. This is what Kwame Nkrumah did to build the town called Tema. The town called Tema is not an indigenous town. It is something, a model that Kwame Nkrumah built. And Kwame Nkrumah acquired, we call it state acquisition of land, compulsorily acquired all the lands in Tema, from community 1 to community 25 now we have. All those lands are state land, they are public lands vested in the states. Don't let anybody sell land in Tema to you. You have donated your money. The only entity recognized now in Ghana to give you land in Tema is TDC. Tema Development Corporation, TDC. If you know of TDC, they are the only people who can grant you land. Whoever is purportedly giving you land in Tema, either he has acquired it and he's assigning his interest to you. That's all. Somebody can assign his interest to you. Like I own a house in Tema and I want to sell it to you. I am only assigning my interest to you. We call it assignment. That one can happen, but even that, it can only happen with the consent and concurrence of TDC. Me and you will have to go to TDC to process the document before the transfer will be done from my name to your name at TDC. So let me warn you, Tema, be careful. So in the cities, that is where the problem is. You go to try to, you see, there's instrument registration, you won't find any problem because you are only registering the instruments. But the title registration is where the problems come. The title registration is where people with diverse interest in that particular land will show up. When you get to Lands Commission and they plot that piece of land, if somebody has registered it previously, you will be told. And this is what normally delays the process. And then if that is that, we say that there is conflicting claims to the land. And for that matter, that claims will have to be settled before the process can continue. That's it. Let me go on before we. So how do you register? Please, you as an individual can never register a land peacefully and successfully. My only advice to you, get a professional. Get the practitioners to do it for you. Simple. That's my advice. Nonetheless, if you want to do it yourself, I've given some steps here that you go through. And if I go through that steps with you, you will come to realize that, my brother, you are better off giving it to the practitioners to do it for you. Because there, you see, people, let me say this, people are afraid of the fees they will pay the practitioners. But I tell you that when they give you a raw deal, it is worse than the fees you will pay. Also, if you give it to a lawyer or a practitioner to do it for you, and later something goes wrong, you sue that person indemnifies you, or that entity or that law firm indemnifies you. Because if they take your instrument, if there's anything wrong with you, they are supposed to advise you how to go around it. They are supposed to do it for you. They are supposed to do the title investigation for you. In fact, you cannot, as an individual, do title investigation in Ghana. You just can't do it. People will lie to you. So the steps, I've put about 7 steps. It looks so simple, but that 7 steps can take you 10 years to go through it. Number 1, you just go to the land title registry. They will purchase a form. They ask you to go and fill the form and then add your land documents and come. And filling that form alone, if you are not if you are a layman, you cannot fill that form. That's even the first problem. Now, let me warn you again. There are some contractors at the land registry. They are always there. Like Golo boys we have at the, what do you call that place?
DVLA.
Vehicle, DVLA. If you go there, you will meet some of those people. They will tell you that can do it for you. Be careful. It is just like leaving your license with the Golo boys at that place. Is the same. When you get there, you see those guys are always around that place. And even sometimes the workers there will say, oh, I can give you somebody who will do it for you. That one to please get a recognized practitioner to do it for you. You fill the form and then you go. You see, when that thing they call indenture. See, let me pull one here and just flash it. Now, they give a document and it looks, it is normally like this. And this one, that document, they are supposed to give 4 of them to you. 4, not 1, 4. Whoever you acquire the land from must give you 4 of this. When you take it to the registry and they accept it, they will stamp them with all those stamps. And then, like you are seeing here, and then they will give you some yellow card. When they give you the yellow card means that it is a receipt to indicate that they have taken your land documents and they are going to work on it. When they finish working on the instruments and they are giving you the yellow card, they will retain 1 of this. You will give them 4. They will retain 1 and give 3 back to you. The next thing is that the survey department is supposed to do a cadastral plan. Now, every land, you must have this portion. I don't know if the light is not properly. This one, which in layman's term we call the site plan. It should be part of it. Now, this site plan is not what the Lands Commission works with. It gives them an approximate indication of where the land is located. But if you really want to do title, the survey department will have to go physically back to the land to pick coordinates. There are engineers here, so they understand that one. To pick the real coordinates and then go back to plot it on their master plan. And that is why I say that is the only point that they are able to tell you whether that land, you are the first to come and register title or somebody already have a title to that land. The land title, when they finish with their plotting, normally you who paid for it, they will give you a copy to go and keep. And then the Lands Commission, it is their duty to conduct a search. The search is who gave you the land, who are the real owners of that land, what was the land granted to you for and for how many years, and what is their interest, those who gave you the land, what is their interest also. Number 2 is whether there is any adverse reports on that particular parcel of land. That is, has anybody objected, any objections? When they finish with all this one, they will publish their report in a publication. In Ghana, the Weekly Spectator, if you have been buying the Weekly Spectator, or if you have ever gone through this process before, they will publish it in the Weekly Spectator. Publication here just simply means that we are giving notice to the whole world that Mr. Raymond Akwaku is acquiring interest for 99 years in this parcel of land, so that if anybody has any objection, to come and raise it. Now, counting from the date of publication, 14 days is allowed for objections and challenge. So if nobody raise a challenge or come to raise any objection, 14 days after the date of publication, the land title then will go ahead to print some certificates to you. The certificates, again, there are two types of certificates you can get. You may either get a provisional certificate or a full certificate. A provisional certificate, that is if there is some question or doubtful title about the land, they will give you a provisional certificate. That provisional certificate is valid for 10 years. If after 10 years nobody comes to raise any issue again, then the final certificate will be given to you. This, in a nutshell, is the steps. Now, question is, why is it that people always get it wrong? Why do we have so much litigation on land? Let me tell you, as a property lawyer, when you come to the Accra, 80 to 85% of all cases that get to the High Court is land related, land litigation. So if you go to the High Court, that new High Court building opposite the ministries that they are put there, when you get there, there are 6 different courts alone within that building for land alone. I think later on they added even 2. Land cases are so many, and please don't get into land litigation. It is so bad. You can spend 20 years litigating over a parcel of land. Why do you take your money and go and buy litigation? See, so my godfather, who I worked for, we had to do some land litigation. It's a land close to Trasaco Valley, where they call Trasaco in Accra. It took 21 years. When this issue started, it was President Kufuor who was president of Ghana at that time. I remember very well. It was President Kufuor's time. The final decision was given about just 1 month ago. My man won the case, but look, how many years? 20 years litigating over land. Why do people get it wrong? My only advice here, number 1, get a practitioner. Number 2, get a practitioner. Number 3, get a practitioner to go through land acquisition or property acquisition for you. Otherwise, you may be lucky. And sometimes you even think you are lucky because nobody has come. The day somebody will appear, you see that you have nothing. Because a practitioner is supposed to investigate the title of your vendor. When I say vendor, the vendor is the person selling to you. Investigating the title, that one alone is a topic on its own. How to investigate title. Even that land, is it encumbered? Encumbered here, encumbrances on land. So recently, a friend purchased a house, it's a duplex at Community 22. Those of you who are familiar with that area, Community 22, they used to call that area Afariwa when you are going towards Michelle Camp. Do you know what? The guy had taken a bank loan with that house as a collateral. He did not tell the person he was selling the land to, and he sold selling the house to, and he sold the house to that person. you have bought an encumbered house. There are so many houses you see there standing there. The owners have collateral it for all sorts of reasons. It is the practitioner's duty to investigate all these kind of things and then search reports. They are supposed to generate a report when they finish investigating title of the vendor, when they finish investigating whether the land is encumbered, whether the title is good, doubtful, and whether the land even has an adverse interest. It is the work of a practitioner to do all these ones for you. Get a proper search report signed for you before advising you that go ahead or don't go ahead with this transaction. Period. Last thing, we call something adverse possession. Also, those of you who have acquired property or land in Ghana and you have traveled and you are staying in London, US, wherever, over the world, you know the bad thing you people do is that you just put somebody there and say, "Sheso Mami." People, let me tell you, the law here is that whoever is in peaceful occupation of any parcel of land in Ghana for 12 years automatically becomes the owner of that land. And for that matter, you put somebody on your land, you never come there, you left him 10 years, 12 years. Unless the person says it belongs to me, you cannot claim it back, no matter what. You have slept on your rights. We call it adverse possession because ownership of land is a function of possession and title. I'm talking to engineers, so when I say a function, ownership, if you like, you can just say ownership equals possession and title plus title. That's why I say ownership is a function of possession and title. So whoever is in possession, when they say possession, possession means actual occupation. You are in possession of it. Whoever is in possession or whoever exercises control over any piece of land or property, the presumption is that he is the owner of that property until that presumption is rebutted by somebody who has a better title than that person occupying the place. It used to be, even in recent years, it used to be even 8 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to end here and take your questions. There are so many other things, but today we cannot, otherwise we cannot finish. We can't go.
Yes.
Let me end it here for now and take questions.
Yeah, hold on a second. Thank you so much. Oh, no, am I? Yeah. Thank you so much, Lawyer Bafo. I think I have to book a flight and go to Ghana quick, because it's been a while.
Your Transaco properties.
I have a question, Ray.
Okay, 1 minute before that, before the questions, let me just interject a little bit by sharing. It's important. It's just a short announcement, basically. This one. No, sorry. No. Why am I getting this wrong again? Stop sharing.
I've still got Mr. Speaker screen.
Have you still got a screen?
Yeah, so you have to replace it. Okay, there you go. You got it.
Okay. So this is just to announce, this is the up and coming events. We got Lawyer Bafo today. Next month, we meet so if this is your first time, we meet, this year we're trying to meet once each month, and we've penciled in the last Saturday at 7 p.m. of each month. So next month, April 24th, we've got Dr. Khan, and he'll be talking about on the topic of COVID. In May, the last Saturday again, we have retirement planning by Dr. Kwa, and then our own Sam Hansel is also going to be talking about mental health. I've just advertised this for now, but there are more to come. So try and join us the last Saturday of each month, if possible. If you also have any interesting topics, let me know, and I'll put you on the platform to speak to us. I think we've really enjoyed today's one as well. And then lastly, UK, especially UK giants, if you can wait behind after our meeting today, we want to have a short discussion because we are moving forward on this clock project. It's happening this year, so please, we need to have a short meeting. All UK guys, stay behind after the meeting. We are also collecting money, so if anybody has got something to chip in,
free money,
any cities or dollars, yeah, we are happy to take that as well. Yeah. Okay. Now questions, Danny.
Yes, I have a question, or probably you've called someone first. No problem, I can wait.
Yeah, Gani is going to go through the chat list first before. Yeah.
I think the most pertinent question was that whether the person asked it as a difference between leasehold and freehold. But since the presentation didn't mention any freehold at all, the question is there any freehold purchasing, acquisition, alienation, assignment in Ghana possible?
All right. The answer is no. After the 1992 Constitution was drawn, the 1992 Constitution has made it explicitly clear that there is nothing like freehold interest in land in Ghana again. So freehold simply means that you have been given it forever, perpetuity.
Yeah.
That does not happen again. Now, 1992 Constitution, which is the highest law of the land today, says you can't do it again. That's all.
So what about those who...
The reason is simply to protect our next generation. That's all.
So if you were managed to acquire a freehold before the Constitution came into force, how would that work out?
It is valid.
Okay.
That one is valid.
All right. Mr. Hansen, your turn.
Thank you. Actually, my question is, I have a piece of land in Pampram, and I believe that it's a stool land.
No, Pampram is family land.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I live in Pampram myself.
Yes, it's a family land, lawyer. You are correct. And a contractor about 4 years ago took me £1,000 to complete the paperwork because I've left Ghana for a long time, so I have no idea about how things work in terms of land. Eventually, she tried to do what she had to do in her capacity, and when it got to acquiring the land title certificate, not when they sent a letter which she did not inform me, based on the fact that I had finished paying the money she charged me, so therefore there was no motivation. So I chased her up, and eventually I was in Ghana about 5 weeks ago, and she gave me a letter that was dated in November 2019 that your application for land certificate over the subject parcel of the land refers that I have been directed to inform you that our land records reveal the parcel of the land you seek to register is the subject matter of a court restraining order on your guarantor, so and so in it says, in view of the above, we are unable to proceed with your application. You are requested to contact the guarantor on the issue. So what is happening is there's this old man who is an accountant here. I used to work with his son. So through that, I acquired that land. I contacted the old man and I spoke to the old man that what is going on. And it just came to light that the guarantor is dead. So now I am stuck. So I don't know whether I'm moving forward or I don't know. So if lawyer, there's a way I can speak to you after this platform in the form of consultation, whatever I have to pay with your expertise, let me know where I stand. And also, when she gave me the paperwork, based on your presentation, I just realized that the pedestal, the blue books, I just went into my archives and I found that she gave me 3. So it means when we finish this, I have to contact her again that I have been informed she should have meant to give me 4 copies. So where is it?
So if she gave you 3, it means she has done the registration of the document, and the registry office will keep 1 and give what I said.
Oh, it's
so
true. Oh, excellent.
That is evidence that the person actually did the registration.
Yes.
And I told you that registering the instrument is different from the title. It's the title that goes through all that process.
This is
now
the letter I received from the lands. So
yes, you see, again, my brother Hansen, you know what? It means you acquired the land before you contracted a lawyer to register it for you. If it was you did the acquisition together with the lawyer will have investigated and it will have come to his notice at the time of purchase that this land is a subject of litigation in the court.
But
I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, but I am afraid the person who was carrying out the process is not a lawyer. She happened to be an ex-worker from the land. So somebody introduced her to me and she charged me that substantial amount of money with the view to do what she had to do.
I told you, I think I mentioned, I haven't cheated anybody on this platform. I mentioned the issue of be careful of the Golo boys. Did I say it or not say it?
Yeah, you did.
So Hansen, you have donated your £1,000. Come and donate some to me.
I think in all fairness, to give other people the opportunity to ask their questions, can you, as you suggested, contact him privately to give you any further advice so that others can ask for their questions as well? I've got 2 questions here. What is the difference between indenture, deed, and title? That's the first one. I'll add the second one since it's a minor question. Someone wants you to clarify what you mean by legal practice in Ghana is rough. I think it's a financial issue, but there you go. So the main question is, what's the difference between indenture, deed, and title?
All right. Now, the indenture is this one that is given to you by the vendor. The vendor prepares 4 copies of something like this and hands them over to you, basically giving you an information about who the owners are, how they are entitled to that parcel, and then they make a site plan, attach it to it. The head, if it is family land, you'll see that the head of family together with principal members of the family will sign. If they give you this thing, only one person has signed it, my brother, you have not gotten anything. You should know that somebody is playing smart on you. It is always, even if it's the stool land, the occupant of the stool and the principal councillors of the stool will sign. You should not see less than 4 signatures on it. This is what we call the indenture, the raw one. We call it indenture. After you have registered the instrument and they have stamped it, and you have paid a stamp duty on it, it becomes a deed. A deed is a legal word, which means that this is recognized under the law. We call it a deed. The land title is a different thing. The land title is the registration of your interest in the land. That is what we call title. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Did you want to clarify that legal practice in Ghana is rough statement?
Honestly, let me say it is. I would say it is personal first and foremost. Because what is wrong to me may be good for somebody.
Okay.
What is rough to me may be smooth for somebody.
Sure.
I have some personal principles I couldn't cope with.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Okay. Let me see.
Wow.
So I decided that I'll put my expertise to train the young ones coming. That's why I'm in academia. Academia doesn't pay much, but I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm okay with it.
So just as a follow-up to that response, given the fact that you're not, directly practicing within the legal field, if somebody were to contact you for representation, then what do you look at yourself and what do you consider to be that? In other words,
what I mean, maybe I have to clarify this. In Ghana, people think that every lawyer must do litigation. The law practice have different dimensions. I am a solicitor. I have stopped being a barrister. A barrister is the one who goes to court to represent you in court. The court litigation, that process is what I have stopped. But I'm still a solicitor. I have my solicitor's license.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Solicitor, you can see me for any legal advice. But if it is about litigation, I will direct you to somewhere else. I do consultancy for so many companies in Ghana, all right? But I don't do litigation. That is what I mean.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Okay, thank you. I think there was one more question I just noticed. Someone is asking the difference between leasehold and freehold. I think you've touched on the two already, but what's the main difference?
Oh, yeah, leasehold means you have been. The main difference is there's time definite for one.
Okay.
And there is indefinite time for the other one. That's the difference. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Ray, I can't see anything more here, so if you want to.
Yeah, I did type in a question because when you were saying that Sir Oforiatta,
yeah,
I read somewhere last 2 weeks that it was, lawyer Mensa Saba was very famous with that word, that phrase, the unborn, born, and the living. And I was wondering whether are they the same people or different?
All right. The original person who made that statement is Sir Oforiatta, who made it originally.
Okay.
This statement has been quoted in so many books, so many court cases, and so many people. Okay. There is even a Nigerian case called Amadou Tijani against the Secretary for Southern State.
Okay.
I've just got a question here now.
Where the judge.
Hold on, I need to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go on. Go on,
good.
Joe.
I'm saying that.
Yeah.
There is a case. There was a case in Amadou Tijani against the Secretary of State for Southern Territories or something like that.
Yeah.
Where the judge sitting there quoted these same words, added some flavor to it, and made it look like it is his own.
Okay.
but it is not. It's
Yeah.
own.
Okay.
The original person who made this statement was Sir William Ofoliata. That was the time there's something they call the Aborigines Rights Society or so. They formed that society to fight as a resistance to colonization.
Yeah.
The Aborigines Rights Society.
Okay.
All right. And Sir Ofoliata was very prominent in it. He was the one who made that statement.
All right. Thanks.
Two more quick questions. One is about transferring. So if you've got an interest, ownership, wherever in land, and you want to transfer it to your children, that's one question. And the other question is, what do you do at the end of your interest or your leasehold? Do you proactively look for the extension, look for the owners to extend it? What do you do? So two questions. One about transferring to your family or someone you wish to transfer the interest to, and the other about what to do when the leasehold comes to an end.
Are you there? Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you hear the question? Yeah.
Yes, I heard the question very well.
Okay.
Now, like I have a list in my hand here. I want to read the last one paragraph here. He says that you are to have and to hold this parcel and to use it for the term of 99 years from the 15th day of May 2014, yielding and paying, therefore, under this blah, 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 unless this leasehold is renewed. What that statement means is that after the 99 years, there is a clause for automatic renewal of the lease. And for that matter, please, if you have a leasehold and you want to transfer it to your children, let them understand that it is a lease. Let them understand how many years is left on it. And let them understand it that when the time is approaching, they are supposed to renew. Now, as a practitioner, let me tell you some trick. Please don't sit down for the years to die completely before you try to renew it. Otherwise, you won't have it easy at all with them. When it is about 5 years or so, even some 10 years to end, you yourself approach them and tell them you want to do an extension. I'm telling you, by that time, the chief or the family head who was alive when it was granted to you might have been dead. There will have been a new one who is looking for money to do something. The moment you go and say it, they will readily, they see it as free money. They will readily want to do that extension for you so that they can do it for you. But if you wait and it runs out completely, they will stretch you. No question about that one. But there is always a clause for automatic renewal. People are getting too much free legal advice today.
Yeah, okay. Now, there is another question though.
Absolutely.
So somebody was asking if your slides are available, you can make them available to us. Is that possible or with a fee?
Do you know what intellectual property is? You will pay for it. If you're ready to pay for it.
Ray.
Yeah.
What about the recording? Can we put it on the global website only for members to watch? Is that okay with him?
Oh, with me, I'm okay because I accepted as a giant to make myself available to you. I'm okay with the recording being on the clouds. Even me myself, I can visit it, replay it,
Yeah.
If I think I need to put some other information, the next time I meet
yeah.
you,
That'd be great.
That's it. I'm okay with that.
I think it's a very good idea. It's a hot,
Thank you very much.
It's a hot topic. So
yeah.
Right.
Ray, if I can say, every member here, after this, please sign up on the global portal so that you have access to some of these programs that we are putting out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Doc.
Joe, can I make a comment?
Yeah.
Joe, lawyer Joe.
Quick one, Titi.
Okay, very quickly. I think you made a reference to the fact that when it comes to land renewal, or for that, lease renewal, the expectation is that any fixture on the land will be considered as being part of the land as part of that renewal. Did I get it correct on that?
Yes, you are right. That's what I said.
Right. Is it not rather the case that each situation has to be looked at on its own sort of merits, i.e. you have to go back to the lease and then look at what the terms stipulate, specifically. Because as far as I'm aware, there are a number of lease renewals which are just, focused on the land without having to, consider any fixture thereon. Where the lease is very specific, that as part of the renewal, the land together with the fixtures on it will be considered in that process, then it's very clear. But if it is not, then there is an argument for it to be based just on the bare land rather than the land plus the fixtures.
Oh, all right. If you had a renewal with a group who only considered it as a bare land, then peace be unto you. But if you heard me right, I made mention that in Kumasi there are repossession properties. As Otunfo is a repossession. Please, it depends on who you are dealing with. If you are dealing, assuming I'm head of family, I'm the head of family. Okay. Reversion. Reversion means the land is coming back to the original owner. The land definition of land, I started with that one. Definition of land includes anything permanently fixed on the land. So reversion, assuming they decide that they are not going to renew it, or there was no renewal clause and you don't know, please, you will vacate the land for them. You have no right to touch the property. You cannot demolish. Let me tell you, there is this thing about people. When you go to court with somebody over a parcel of land, you have put up a structure on it, a building, whatever, your mansion, a skyscraper on it. You go to court with that person and the person wins. It does not lie with you to go and demolish it. That person, the owner is the owner of the land together with anything on it. It is only the owner who will decide whether I want that structure there or I want to demolish it.
Okay.
You who have lost it, you have lost it and gone.
Jeez.
You cannot touch it. If you touch it, that is a criminal offense. It means you are trespassing somebody's property.
This one, dear.
Well, I will say, and this is not
don't go into litigation with this thing. It is a fight you will not win. I bet you.
I hear everything. I hear everything you're saying, but I'll also give you a very recent example of a family that had property in Bomso. Bomso, this is in Kumasi. Bomso, yeah. Near Teg. The lease on the land.
Kumasi, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I'm bringing this in because of the fact that you made reference to the Asante Hines land. The lease expired, and we acted on behalf of the family for the renewal of the lease. That discussion or negotiation was with the Asante Hines secretaries, the land secretaries. And the basis for the renewal was on the land without taking into account the building on it. So I just go back to the point that there is that possibility that depending on the type of lease that you've got, it is not in every instance that the lease renewal will be based on both the value of the land and the property on it.
Let me just put a scenario into your hands then. What happens if they decide not to renew? Okay, so the renewal is based on the land itself, as you said.
Yeah.
For whether it's per the terms of the lease or because the owners are reasonable or whatever. What if it gets to a stage where they said, we are not renewing for you? Then what do you consider to be the value of the structure?
If they say they're not renewing, the lease has come to an end.
Yeah, it's
and
not an automatic renewal.
That's right. Yeah, okay. And then there's no provision within the lease for renewal, or for that matter, there's provision and you haven't complied with it, i.e., you're meant to have renewed before a certain time, you didn't. Then you don't have a case you don't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah, so exactly. Then it goes back to the point that considering the value of the structure is neither here nor there.
No. It's a different, argument.
It's not different. It's not
Please,
different.
Let me state this, Mr. Mensah. You see, I don't know for how many years and then this thing ran out, but you agree with me that they will never give you the land for the same price that it was given previously.
Accepted.
They will give you the current value, the current value.
Accepted. It is got to be the open market value. Yeah. But yeah, there's no dispute about that. No. Yeah.
All right. And again, let me state also that when it is first renewal, according to the current dispensation, every lease must have automatic renewal clause. All right. Especially if it is first renewal, you cannot say we are not renewing again. No. That one you can go to court and challenge it. And the law is on your side.
Okay. Yeah, I think
all right.
The other issue, lawyer, is with regard to the land in Tema. Again, I think you made a comment that all the land in Tema is vested in the state.
Yes.
Yeah, but again, I am aware that certain parcels of land in Tema are vested within the family. And in fact, to date, the TDC have been trying to negotiate with certain families to acquire certain portions of their land. So I'm just, throwing this in, saying that, if it is taken on board that every land in Tema is owned by the state, then we might.
No. Please, maybe I made a general statement. Remember that if you go there is an indigenous town, Tema town. Like I'm saying, though the state acquired it, there are owners, recognized owners of the land. They have their, the state cannot acquire all the land belonging to a particular stool or a particular family.
Not at all.
That is never done. If you go to Sunyani is also another example. Lands in Sunyani is public lands, but the indigenous owners also have their parcel of land. That one is not touched by the state.
Okay, that's fine.
Nobody.
I just needed to bring in that clarification. Yeah, all right.
But fine. I said from community 1 to community 25, those communities, anywhere you hear community this, community that, it is public land. But the indigenous land are not part of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I think we've exhausted the questions. Big thank you to Lawyer Joe.
We need his contact.
Of course, pigeon. But you have to come through me though. You have to come through me.
Guru boy.
Consultation answer.
Don't worry.
Raymond wants to take consultation fee.
Hey,
You know,
Ray, what have you done? You don't deserve anything. Like, you don't deserve anything.
Yeah, so I'd like to thank every one of you, the US. I made a mistake, I think because the clocks, went forward. I think I made a mistake. So some of you joined very, very early. But yeah, it's not gonna happen next week because our clock is also moving forward tomorrow. So so it will not be done. But thank you so much for joining us. It's good that we can kind of collaborate and have these sort of networking. I mean, somebody from Ghana is presenting today, which is fine. I think we should have somebody from the US, from the UK, and it's one big family. So I really thank you so much. But UK guys, please hold on for a short meeting and pull your wallets out.
And also, it's very informative.
Yeah.
Eye opener.
Yeah. But Hansen, you need to come through me. I'll give you his number.
But Ray, you are my next door neighbor, so it's not a problem. I will come for consultation.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. Gosh.
Thank you.
You frighten me, but thank you nonetheless.
Thank you. It's been a great presentation.
Yes, very, very valuable.
A quick trip to Ghana, quickly.
Yeah.
Before you lose your land.
Before. Wow, 12 years and the person is the owner. That's not good.
That's
serious.
Dangerous territory.
No. That's
they don't even need to kill you now.
Yeah. So why are they killing people? Yeah.
It's true.
Just stay on 12 years. You collect your thing and go.
No need to kill you.
Thank you very much, Lawyer Kosiki.